Welcome everyone. Today we'll have a special review on the latest character Itto and also whether he's worth it. In this video, I'll be comparing Itto with different artifact set, with different weapons, and also using different teams. We'll go through a number of team composition and also comparing what are the best builds for Itto for the free-to-play Itto. So this is focused on low spending and also get the most damage and also most synergy out of him. Now I'm sure by now you guys have seen a lot of videos and also guides for Itto. I do want to make my own video and also my take on him. What I want to show you guys is he playable as a free-to-play character. So you don't have to invest too much money in it, you don't have to use his new weapon and what artifacts you can go with him. And I want to give you guys more comparison because I really do enjoy this character. So this video is going to be combined into a guide video for Itto in terms of artifacts and also weapons which are free to play, and also in terms of my take of Itto. Personally, I have been playing him throughout the day and I've been changing my whole team around him. And I want to show you guys what are the 4-star characters and also 5-star characters I can go with Itto. And here I've been farming for the weapon materials for the Serpent Spine, and I want to show you guys the background. So Itto as a character is actually really enjoyable to play if you do have a team build around him. Now if we don't have a team building around Itto, this can be a little more difficult because you actually need a lot of geo energy. So what I usually do is I have a full team of geo characters, so Itto always goes with Goro. After that, our battle actually helps quite a bit in doing consistent damage if it's built for damage. Zhongli over here just give us more geo elemental and also a perfect shield to protect the characters. Surprisingly enough, Itto actually takes quite a bit of damage if he doesn't have a shield. So for me, the 4 geo characters can be interchangeable because there's a lot of 4-star geo characters that can also work. And because my Goro does have a concentration 4, I didn't use a healer, but we can inbuild into a healer. So let's first start with the team composition for Itto I'm currently using. So Itto and also Goro goes really well. Goro at least want 3 geo characters for the bonus geo damage. Now you might say, hey, why don't I use other characters? Well, we can. There's characters like Child that increase Itto's skill level by 1 for his normal attack. There's characters like Mona that boosts Itto's damage by a lot. There's also characters like Bennett that heals us and also give us a damage boost. But in terms of more free-to-play approach, I do think Goro is one of the best in slot for Itto as a supporting character. And this kind of pushes for 3 geo character. Now, Child and also Mona are also 5-star characters. So I'll be going with Itto and also Goro for most of my compositions. And other 2 characters are 5 stars, I know. So what I did over here is I also have a few different teams that are 4 stars. So let's start with a basic team. As you start the game, likely you'll have at least 1 Noel. And because this is currently a Barbara banner as well, I got, Concentration 6 Barbara. So the initial team composition for a free-to-play Itto team will be something like this. 3 geo characters with Noel and also Itto. And then Barbara as a healer, Goro as a support that give us increased defense, which should work really well with both characters. After that, if you do get your Geo character, Geo Traveler and also Bennett, I do think this is a better switch up. So the Geo Traveler also gives increased critical chances for Itto and also more Geo Construct for more Geo Elemental particles. Bennett can not only heal us and also give us increased damage. So I do like to transition into this build, which is still free to play friendly, but this has more synergies compared to the first composition. And finally, I do think that if we're still sticking with 4-star characters and we still want to go with 3 geo characters, we can go with Negron as well. Negron doesn't benefit from Goro for the defense, but what she can do is she can still cast a lot of geo elemental spells, and this is aimed to boost Itto's energy recharge because he wants to generate a lot of the energy particles in the game to cast his best spells. So if we come to one of my replays, what you can see is having the Zhongli structure, having our battle geo structure, as Itto fight on the field, notice his ulti is still on, and currently my energy is almost full for that next ultimate. So now, the moment Itto switch in, this is actually the dungeon that kills your energy by the way. So now as Itto switch in, he actually gains a very fast rapid of energy. And that's why I suggest at least 2 or 3 geo characters to be on the team, because you really want to get as much energy for him as you can and cast spells much more quicker. And Itto only shines when he transforms. So that's why I always recommend at least 2 to 3 geo characters. So going right away into Itto, I'm currently using a White Bind, and this is a craftable weapon which I have made to refinement level 5 at level 90. And this weapon, we're going to see in some of the comparisons very soon, this weapon is actually definitely top 4 of the weapons for him, even greater than some of the 5 stars. Now as for the artifact set, I'm currently going for the new artifact set with a husk set. This artifact set does seems to be more consistent with damage compared to the previous gladiator set, which is to be expected because he does have the highest defense as he levels up, so Itto have a very high base defense. Now the constellation of my Itto will be 0, so Itto doesn't have any constellation here. And as for my talents, I have level 8, level 6 and also level 9 for him at the moment. So in order for us to talk about whether Itto is worth it, let's have a look at some of the potential artifacts I can use and how great those artifacts are. Then we're going to have a look at weapons. So as you can see over here, I'll be comparing two sets. The first set I'll be using will be the husk set. And over here you can see the stats I'll be using for this bigger set. I have tried to get them as consistent as I can with both of the sets. So I'll be comparing the husk set and also gladiator set. And over here, you can also see the stats of the gladiator set I'll be using. So both of my pieces have the similar main stats. So that'll be the defense percentage and also the geo damage and finally with the critical damage. So those sets, I try to get them as close as I can with the consistency and using the same weapon, which is white blind. So coming over to a comparison. The top comparison is using the latest husk set, the bottom comparison is using the old gladiator set, which do have the similar stats, and Itto also have the same weapon as well, using the same team, same buffs, same synergy. What you can notice is the top damage seems to be higher, so the new husk set seems to be dealing more damage than the gladiator set, which is to be expected because Itto does get scaling more higher with the geo set. And what you can tell is we're using Spiral Abuse Chamber 1. So this does have a higher geo damage boost. So this is to be noticed. So in case you guys want to look at this more closely, definitely do come back this a few times to focus on the top first and also focus on the bottom. I try to give you guys the most consistency of the edits to see both sets at its effect. And I do think the husk set is better for Itto. Now my next question is, what are the best free-to-play weapons for Itto? And over here, my first priority will definitely be the White Blind. And this weapon does come for free in the game. And I do know some of the viewers have been suggesting to try the Serpent Spine, and I have gotten this weapon to level 90. And the refinement is still 1, because I only have 1 copy of this weapon. So what we're comparing at the moment will be Serpent Spine and also the White Blind. We'll later compare on the next video about the 5-star weapons with Itto, because those weapons actually don't scale with defense. So the best two for Itto, as in terms of free to play or maybe just slightly paid, is the Battle Pass weapon with refinement level 1 and also the White Bind with refinement level 5. And let's have a look at them. Now, similar to our previous comparisons, we'll be using the White Bind on the top of the comparison, and on the bottom we'll be using the Serpent Spine. And this is same for the Chamber 11, this is same for the Floor 1 Chamber 11. What we can notice is both seems to be doing pretty nice damage, about 20,000 to 30,000, and the final crit can hit anywhere up to 65 or 68,000. So both weapons seems to be doing very well, but one of the weapons refinement level 5 and the other one is refinement level 1, so that is a big difference over here. And as we can see, the comparison do show that Itto does enjoy higher critical rate with the Serpent Spine. But the downside is the Serpent Spine does cost at least 15 AUD dollars or maybe 10 USD dollars. So the Serpent Spine is at a cost, so you can't get it for free. And in terms of a free to play Itto build, I do think the White Bind with refinement level 5 still does the job. And over here I do have a bit of additional comparison using those weapons in the wild. So this is not in the Spiral Abuse floors. And we can see over here, both weapons seems to be doing okay, and it is really up to you whether you want to go for the Serpent Spine or go for the White Bind. And of course, one of them do cost money, and that's the only thing. So the top is White Bind, the bottom is Serpent Spine. I want to show you guys this comparison as well. Now as a bonus tip, we also have 2 sets of offensive food items for Itto, which is quite a surprise. Usually, you don't get that many offensive food items. You can go with offensive food items like Adept's Temptation, which gives him attack and also critical rate. And then we can also go with something like Delicious Crab that also gives him defense. Because Itto, similar to Noel, he scales off defense. And by having higher defense means he also have higher attack. So he can go with 2 offensive food items, which is actually really good for those characters. And of course, we can craft the Geo Oil for Itto as well for the bonus Geo damage for at least 25 more %. So those are also useful items in the world if we don't go into Spiral Abuse. So those can be also very strong for the Itto and also Geo synergies for the team. Now, because we're looking at a lot of information and I want to give you guys a summary, so what I want to say is I recommend at least 3 Geo characters with Itto plus Goro. So you can go with Zonli, you can go with Albedo, you don't have to go with 4 Geos, but I like the energy gain. I can also go with Negron, I can go with Noel. So at least 3 Geo characters seems to be the optimal number for Itto to get the highest Geo energy. And after that, you might want to consider having a healer. Someone like Bennett, someone like Barbara can be really good. Now, because there's monsters that also corrupts the shield of the Geo characters, you know, those hacking wolves that hits through the corrosion that, you know, that gets the Geo characters and gets the Zonli, I can say we can also consider a healer like Jin, but Jin is not as free to play. Now, in terms of Itto's setup, I am still recommending the White Bind because the White Bind, you know, it is a free to play weapon, completely free to play. The Serpent Spine is actually not bad, but you do have to, you know, buy the battle pass for it. But if you guys do have it, those two are very close. Level 1 refinement for the Serpent Spine and also level 5 refinement for the White Blind. Now we'll be comparing the 5-star weapons next time. I still haven't decided whether I want to go for the Itto weapon. In terms of the artifacts, I still do recommend to go with a Husk artifact. As you can see in the comparison, this set of artifacts is definitely better than the Gladiator set. So the bonus 18% attack doesn't do that much for Itto, and also the charge attack, you know, the polearm increased damage by 35 is not as high as the increase of defense that is stacking with him. I'll be going with higher critical rate and also critical damage. Defense, you know, we'll be getting a lot of defense from White Bind. So you can focus on more of the offensive stats. You can see the 20% critical damage and over here 25% critical damage. We'll be going with defense main stats, geo damage and also critical damage. And let's get some critical rate because we do want those, because his critical rate we want to aim for at least 33 or 35%. Now coming to my final conclusion of my video, what do I think of Itto? You can tell that I've been building and also testing him a lot throughout, you know, the video, and I've been using him a lot in my team compositions. I do think this is a change of meta for me because I've been using the same characters, you know, Ganyu, Zonli, and you know, the Luke. I've been using the synergies for Melt synergy a lot, you know, Vaporize and also Melt. And those characters are fun, but I do think Itto do have a really good spot in my heart. Now, keep in mind guys, you do have to focus on the Geo characters over here. And it did take me a lot to invest into both him, Goro, and also Albedo. And if you do have more of the Geo 5-stars, he is definitely a worthy investment because he's the only Geo 5-star DPS at the moment. But if you don't have that many Geo 5-stars, you might want to consider, is Itto the playstyle for you? Because he's a character that actually requires a lot of stats. He wants energy gain, he wants defense, critical rate, critical damage. But if once you get to an optimal level by gaining enough energy, he is really fun to play because his cooldown is surprisingly lower than Noel, which I do plan to make a video about comparing Itto and also Noel to see who is a little stronger, right? Is the 5-star or the 4-star? So my final verdict is Itto is definitely worth it if you do want to try the Geo characters, and he is worth it for me. And because as you guys see on the live stream, I did get him quite lucky. I got him by winning the 50-50. We also got a lot of Goros in return, so my Goro can also heal with Concentration 4, which is very fortunate. I definitely don't think it's worth it to go very high concentration for him, and the biggest highlight for me for Itto is I don't have to spend for the weapon. I'm having a good time with him just with my Geo party without the weapon, and that is a big plus for him. Oh, big plus for me at least. Because if you go for the weapon, you're looking at chances of, you know, losing your 50-50, you're looking at chances to spend a lot of Primal Gems. So the weapon is also very painful for me. Any 5-star character that can work with 4-star weapons, like Itto with White Blind and also Serpent Spine, I'm actually very happy for him. So let me know what you guys think about Itto. My verdict is he's definitely free to play friendly, and you know, just with some artifacts and some 4-star weapons, he can shine very well with the right team. So hopefully you guys enjoy him, and if you guys are saving for the 2.4 characters, we'll have a comparison video on them very soon with Shenhei and also Itto, and also maybe potential 2.5 characters. We get to see a hint of them very soon as well. Now if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also turn the little bell on for the latest news. I'll be looking towards to make more builds, guides, tips and news and event updates for us as we come further into the game. And as always, I wish you guys the best of luck with Genshin and have the most fun in exploring this wonderful world.